epic failure of the 13 premiers. It's explosive, huge video. It's got to be shared. I want to do this. I want everybody to get it right. There's a lot of calls from a lot of folks in Canada, the 51st state, Alberta statehood, Party 51, Quebecois, goes on and on, Buffalo Party. Referendum, referendum, referendum. We will fail epically on a referendum. Donald J. Trump knows this. GOP knows this. Your Canadian premiers know this. Your Prime Minister knows this. We are not a parliamentary democracy. For all those out there who come up with all these narratives, there is but one truth, and one truth alone, that is Canada. Canada is a constitutional monarchy. Absence of democracy. We're going to get into that in a minute. But I'm going to tell you about the United States that people need to understand. You need to understand Donald J. Trump. You need to understand GOP. You need to understand Americans. You need to understand what statehood really means. The United States of America is a constitutional republic, not a democratic republic. Do we, the people in the constitutional republic known as the United States, have the sovereignty, the authority, and many, many democratic institutions? Yes. But make no mistake, do not confuse democracy for rule of law or a functioning democracy. You go, huh? What does that mean? Many autocrats use democracy to achieve their dictatorship, their autocratic rule. They know when to administer democracy, i.e. when they know you will go along with what they want, their objectives. And for Canadians that are calling for referendums for statehood, we will lose epically. We will lose literally 1-9 in the voting electorate right across Canada. Alberta, if it believes it would be the best outcome, would likely lose epically in a referendum. What is the system of the constitutional monarchy? Well, it's a majority of premiers and the Prime Minister when it comes down to it for amendments or changes on the monstrous level of the Constitution. And in that ratification of a new Constitution, that's your time for a referendum. This is everything that's Canada, everything that Donald J. Trump and GOP know about Canada, as all your 13 premiers afraid, scared and afraid of losing their power, their authority, their rights to you, the slaves, the subjects, almost all the land, all the power over the resources. In fact, it's theirs, and whoever and whichever friends they choose to grant access to, not any of you. Now, this isn't the constitutional republic of the United States. That is built on we the people. You could get there, but even they don't. Since the 13 colonies, not once did the American people themselves vote for any of the other 50 states of the Union, meaning from 13 to 50. We're talking about 37 states in statehood. Not once did the American people get to vote. Do you know why? Because in every single situation, all of them, epically the people polled, did not want them. Not a one. Not California, not Texas, not any of the Louisiana, not any of the Spanish America from the War of Mexico or even the War of Spain or the Midwest. Not ever once did any current states at any of these points of the Union did the American people want them. And right now, the American people, in a bigger majority than Canadians, don't want you Canadians in their union. This is standard. It's always been this way for the United States of America. Never once have the American people ever wanted any expansion of states of the Union. But yet they happen at a tremendous rate when you look at the years. And yes, largely it's been quiet for 60 years, but it is done by an act of Congress. They decide. They vote in majority. They create an enabling act that's bounced off of Senate. So you need House and Senate. Donald J. Trump knows this. So does GOP. He has his majority Congress, his majority Senate, and he holds majority in presidency. Both popular and effectual college electorate. He won them both in majority. People try to minimize that. It's epic for Republicans. Hasn't happened in a long time. In that, he knows your 13 premiers ran begging, please, please. They even told you a lot of lies. The Canadian media stream lies to you on an epic scale. And for all of you, those in statehood, we don't want a referendum because it ain't going to achieve our results. No way in heck. We're better off with the greedy, seedy Prime Minister, or winning the title of Prime Minister in an election, or effectually showcasing that for the first time ever for those institutionalized majority Canadians to wake up. A referendum will not serve you in your constitutional monarchy. That's what you are. And every American academic who's published at the high doctorate level, best of the best, will tell you all what I'm telling you. They know that you will lose because your people are institutionalized. American people don't want to change their system. They never do. They don't like change. That's why it's designed that way. Americans don't vote for your statehood. Canadians, you only get one point in time of a referendum, and that is on your new state constitution after much months of constitutional conventions under the Enabling Act. You, like every other state of the Union, and in your constitutional monarchy to transition, will get that vote. We really only need to win Prime Minister. And I'm going to showcase all of that in our party platform. That's why we need more than 2,000 people in this party, because we're going to showcase those autocratic powers, the vast appointments for the first time ever in Canadian history, so Canadians know. It's also the way and means of getting through to accept the Enabling Act, to get that referendum, which is the only referendum Canadians would ever see, would be voting all Canadians, First Peoples, for the new state constitution to be admitted at the end into the United States. Other than that, there's no vote by any Canadians, none whatsoever. Anyone pushing that is pushing a parliamentary democracy, which means they're not even following their own laws, or let alone respecting the laws of the United States of America. Will not accept that. That's not how it works. It's never worked that way. This is credible, real, 100% verifiable, and it's why your premiers are peeing their pants right now as I give this video. Epic failure. They lost. They're even trying to lie to you using the Crown media. If you didn't know that your media works for your Crown politicians, not you, I don't know what to tell you. The Americans are watching Canada with a fine-tooth comb right now. Not really shocked. A lot of things they are suspicious about, they see today. You watched the Deputy Director of State tell you he didn't tell the premiers any of those things. He never told them that he's against the 51st state. He tells you that, in fact, that's possible. and to take President Donald J. Trump absolutely 110% serious. You will not get Congress and Senate telling you anything else, not Democrat or Republican. All they do in their lane is wait for the day your prime minister applies for statehood, and they will roll out an enabling act, because that is their job. That is their constitutional design. That's what they do. They've done it 37 times since the aftermath of the War of Independence and the ratification of the 1787 Constitution, which is the United States Constitution today. That is their job. President signs after and has veto. We already know that President Donald J. Trump is not going to veto. He'll veto everything else but his cherished 51st state. The only thing, first thing he wants, the thing he wants from Canada. It's all been articulated in the last 48 hours, and now today in the last 12 hours. It's undeniable. Can't be myth busted. But what people try to propagate and solicit is something else entirely. That's my video. Take care, everybody. We'll talk very soon. Share, share, share. Get this out there. It's huge. Bye now.